Well, hello there, Virgo. This is a weekly reading for December 7th to the 13th. This will be an intuitive reading, so if it resonates with you, awesome. If it doesn't, know that the message or messages are intended for another person. I'm going to be using the Spirit Signs Patch Tarot for this reading. This deck focuses on emotional and spiritual development. I also post weekly, monthly, mid-month spirit check-ins and weekly pick-up piles if you're interested in those videos. And while you're over there perusing, don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. Okay, so let's get into it. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Universe, what do you have in store for Virgo? Top of the deck with clarification. December 7th through the 17th. Ooh, right here. We get Ten of Cups, prosperity. The Hanged Man, surrender. Ten of Wands, resolve. The Five of Wands, struggle. The Lovers, marriage. The Five of Swords, conflict. The Four of Swords, respite. The Prince of Swords, cerebral. The Nine of Cups, happiness. And overall, it is the way. Pray. Virgo. When we worry for our family, when we get stressed, we tend to try and fight to make a change even harder. And that's the opposite of what needs to happen right here if you're wanting this prosperity. And working to, I'm getting there's a lot of family struggle. I mean, relationship wise, and some fighting here, some infighting, some financial struggles, mental health, such as anxiety and depression and the like here going on around you, whether this is you or someone else around you. Okay, so this is the first card. This is the general atmosphere of the question. This is the Ten of Cups, prosperity. This is everybody moving towards that happiness. All your needs are met. You're running hand in hand, and you have that happy ending and that stable life and that dream life that you're wanting, of course. It's being crossed with the Hanged Man, meaning you've been fighting something here. Whether you've been fighting each other, fighting a point of view, trying to be right. This is pull yourself back from the situation, okay? This is telling you to take a step back and breathe. Your higher self knows that you're able to come out of the situation. Your higher self knows it. You have the resolve to rise again no matter what situation, but that doesn't mean that you have to make every situation a situation you have to rise from, you know? This is putting yourself in a place of holding too much responsibility, you know? I mean, there's only so much you can do, and the amount of emotion that you place upon it is the extra responsibility. Feeling everybody else's feelings and holding those, you know, like my baby feels this way, so I have to hold that emotion. Or I feel guilty, you know? That's not what needs to happen, darlings. Just know that you do as much as you can. And in the past here, we have the lovers, that marriage, that agreement, that bonding, that loving embrace, that solidarity, working with each other, and peace and harmony amongst each other, you know, those bonding oaths. So if this is a relationship issue for this next week, it feels like there has been a conflict, especially if you're worrying about the struggle with those around you and how it affects everybody, you know? Again, how it affects everyone, what everyone would think about it is a responsibility and a thought form that you don't need to carry if you're trying to process the now. Because coming up for you this week, we have the Four of Swords, conflict, bringing in this past. Remember why you got into this. Remember what feeling it gave to you, what dreams you had when this started, for when this conflict comes up. Because whether you're right or wrong, because this isn't about right or wrong here, this is about there'll be karmic defeat either way. You know, like if you were right, you still feel bad about it. If you were wrong, you still feel bad about it. It's going to come on quick. It's going to be heavy. Let's do some clarification on it. I'm feeling it has to do with the stress. It doesn't have to do with your bond. This is just somebody's coping with the stressful situation. Okay, this is how they cope. And they express it to you because they love you, they trust you with their emotions, and you're the safe place in which to bring this out on. You know, bring this out. People try to find outside reasons for their struggles, and you know, it's a lot about just perception. And you can't blame them for not having another perception, and understand that moving up into this here, that a lot of it is just the situation, the stress. Okay? Remember your roots, remember the beginnings. Here with this conflict, we get the Ace of Cups, compassion. Definitely have compassion with this. We get the Ace of Swords, realization. If you just ask them, you know, just like take their side in the fight and say, okay, I understand you're feeling this way. You are free to express to me, truly. You know, give them, and that's going to bring in this whatever this is bringing in that information. Have compassion with it. Work through it. Work through it. This is going to clear the air a little bit. Just say, I know that we have both been stressed and we've been taking it out on each other. That I love you. I love you. This is what we are. And this is what we're going through. This is not who we are. You know, have that conversation with these people. I'm feeling like it's a really close partnership. Now, your inner world, how you're going to be on the inside is the Four of Swords, taking time to really process it, taking a little downtime to rationalize your emotions. Taking that breather, you don't feel like you have to move. New information takes a while to process, you know? I mean, you start seeing things from different ways and feeling them from different ways. That's the most important, is feeling it and giving yourself that time to feel, and that's okay. Everybody needs this. This is your outer world, the Prince of Swords. This is going to be cerebral. This is somebody just going through and just planning and thinking things out over, you know, putting their perception over materialistic wants, needs, and desires here. Really taking the time to analyze the environment and what's best and what's not. So whatever this is moving through, this is going to allow you to progress emotionally here. That this once the storm passes, you're going to feel more open and free communication and free for movement. Okay, it's not communicating that is not allowing this to move here. Plus just the environment, you know, I mean, times are hard, right? And that's just stress setting up. But know the roots. Know the reason you agreed, the bonding. This is what you're going to be focused on, is the Nine of Cups, happiness. Seeing that everybody's cup is filled and that everybody's getting the attention that they need, and you get the attention that you need, you get the downtime that you need, and your resources are to be filled. So with this movement here and this taking the breather and thinking it through and then really processing your environment, you're ready to focus on what needs to be done to achieve that. Okay, this is the momentum and the ingredients that you needed to move on, this reconciliation, this healing from this, and gaining the understanding to move forward. Because overall, it is the way. You know the way, okay? And a lot of times, if we don't understand, it's best to go and talk with somebody, okay? Talk with somebody. Because we don't always understand what's going on in our own heads, and only when we speak it out loud and verbalize it does it really solidify it in our psyche and in our lives. And you know the way. Communicate. Say these things. Speak it out loud. This is definitely about communication here, communication within relationship to achieve this level of happiness, to be able to start identifying what needs to be filled, to focus on your happiness. Okay, Virgo. This is really lovely. If you liked the reading, I really hope you did. Like, subscribe, and I will see you next week, Virgo.